Hello everyone and welcome back to Learning from My Mistakes. Today we'll be going over a piece of footage that I recorded, and I know I made a ton of mistakes in this. So, watching over it, it'll be interesting to spot new ones and to re-spot the ones that I made earlier, and this was a very good game. I understand that first video that I released introducing this idea wasn't that great, just because I'm finding the hard AI incredibly boring now, because I just know it. I've played it a lot with testing decks, and I know what it's going to do, and so I'm going out into the big, wide world, and I'm playing against players, and I'm learning new tactics and behaviours from them, really. So let's have a look into this video, and let's look at the play. Poor word for it, but let's look at the play and see what goes down. So, just exchanging our pleasantries and saying good luck, and you may notice I'm sounding a little bit bunged up, and that's because I have a cold, and you may see that I'm a little bit drifty today. That's because I'm on a lot of painkillers because of knee pain. So that's the thing. Now, he's played Kinfolk Brave in the middle in a very good position, because that Kinfolk Brave can go anywhere. Now, you can place a structure there and slide it back, you can place two Ragged Wolves there and slide it back. Nothing is going to be able to hit him if he has the cards he needs to defend it, which is a reasonable way to place him. That is a good place to place your first unit of a match, and that is something that I always try to do now if I'm playing first. That spot is perfect. Going up here just limits you too much, going down there limits you too much. You can't... Your only option is where the Kinfolk Brave is currently. That is the correct spot. Now we have a Sister of the Fox by me. I placed her down low because obviously I want to do stuff with her later, but currently she's basically useless, so I might as well leave her. And so Mr. Blinky, who I'm playing, and thank you for this game, he used a Ranger Bait and just killed it off. So I'm doing the same thing with my Ragged Wolf, keeping it out of the way, because I don't want it to die. I want to do stuff with it later, and if I put it anywhere in the middle, he's just going to move the Kinfolk Brave to deny me any board presence. Now, he sacrifices his Kinfolk Brave to get an insane amount of draw, and that puts him in a considerable lead. If I still had my Sister of the Fox, and I had one of them, I would go for that. Now, I've ended up with a really good hand here, because I've got two Great Wolves and a Mangy Wolf. I go Great Wolf, Mangy Wolf, and I can play. That turn I didn't play my Mangy Wolf, because I figured I'd save it until I have Wolves on the board, and so I played the Ivy Eagle instead, and I think that's a correct move. And then he's playing an Ivy Eagle to draw, and does not appear that he got the creature that he was looking for, which I don't know what that would be. So I've got Unleash Inner Power, I'm getting rid of that. That might have been a mistake. I might have been better off getting rid of the Kinfolk Veteran, because the Unleash Inner Power gives me better removal options, but the placement of my units currently is pretty good. And then a Quake, so that kills off one of mine and weakens another one severely. That's just the way of life at the moment with growth. Expect to see Quake played fast and loose. That's a mistake. That is definitely a mistake. I should have moved my Great Wolf back and then put my new Great Wolf in front of it, because my new Great Wolf has considerably more health, and he punishes me for it right here. Followed by extra punishment, just to rub salt in the wound. So, that was a mistake. If I didn't have that, this match would be completely different, because I would have the accessory of an extra Great Wolf. That is great. Now, I get her out, and I play that to get the attack to deny him a board presence, and I feel that's a good move. The other option would have been to Fertile Soil my Sister of the Fox, which would have also been interesting. It would have got me a larger amount of draw, but I didn't go for that. I instead played the Mangy Wolf to get that attack in, and looking at it, that was probably the better idea. Now, if I were to say what to do right now, I'd probably be playing the Mangy Wolf and getting that big attack in to hopefully board wipe. That's not enough. It'll leave the Kinfolk Brave alive with 1 point, but that's a good wipe. I'm happy with that maneuver. Keeping everyone in a line like this just ensures the survivability. I'm not sure if I need the Mangy Wolf in the middle there. It could be off to a side, but either way, one is going to get sniped in. Here, Blinky is warning me. So just pay attention to the chat for a moment. And so he plays the Sister of the Fox, and then Fertile soils it, which is what I was going to do, and I don't know, maybe that is a worthwhile use of a turn. But yeah, Blinky always says that halfway through a game that he is about to win, and he comes back out of nowhere and wins it, so... And yeah, he smiles with knowledge of this. But yeah, the God Hand gets me this really powerful hit that weakens most of the idols down, takes out his board, and leaves him on 3. So that was a good use of that God Hand. Instead of playing something else, I just wiped the board and did a lot of damage to some idols. I've got a split so that my guys can get out, but this is the downside of that split. He's able to just snipe off my Great Wolf using a Ragged Wolf and a Unleash Inner Power, which was probably a mistake. I probably should have stayed reserved, kept my Mangy Wolf in front of my Great Wolf, and let it win. So I'm lining them back up now, so that there's no creatures on the outside of this line that can be sniped off by a Kinfolk veteran, so I feel this is an okay move. And so now he has 2 Sisters of the Fox getting in more draw power, and a Great Wolf goes down. Wow, okay, lots going on in this game. I'm talking a lot. So now, in order to get to that Great Wolf, I need to get rid of those Sisters of the Fox. I'm on 8 resources, which is pretty good. He's also on 8 resources. So I'm going to move the vet out of the way, slide these guys forward, play a vet at the back, so I have the room to deal that 3 damage to that Great Wolf, and I also sacrificed for order so that I can start moving towards using those order spells. I didn't really use them a lot in this game, but some games they are the perfect option that you need in a situation where you just don't have what you would otherwise want. If you have poor draw for a game, you get a callback and you can utilize creatures on the board instead of having to draw new ones. So it is a very, very useful scroll. I just didn't get a chance to use it here, right? So I have my Fertile Soil, I have my Woodland Memorial. Sacrifice the Woodland Memorial, that makes sense, and I've got an Unleash Inner Power, plus a Fertile Soil. Now if you look, the Great Wolf at the back is weak, no, at the back in the middle is weak, so I'm going to Unleash Inner Power the front guy, use a Ragged Wolf to kill the front wolf, and then have the Kinfolk Vet kill them. I could have done that in the other order, and that would have been smarter, because the guy at the front would have more health. So, really, the ordering of my units so that there's the guy with the most health is always at the front, where possible, is something I should severely focus on. Right now, I'm going to lose... Yeah, I'm going to lose the Ragged Wolf, which, when a Great Wolf comes out, is severely more important. I'm saying severely a lot. And there is another Great Wolf. This is a lot of Great Wolves going down. It's pretty hard to deal with that. So now I have my Fertile Soil and my Quake. I'm moving all my units into one line. This gives me the opportunity to kill off that front Great Wolf. But as you see, I moved before I did my draws. This has severely reduced my options. I could have done... I think that's a board wipe I could have done if I had... No, it wouldn't have been a complete board wipe. Excuse me. That wouldn't have been a complete board wipe, but that Mangy Wolf, Great Wolf of his would be on 2 health now, instead of 5, if I had have sacrificed to scrolls before I started playing my turn. That is something I should work on. So really, at the moment, it's higher health at the front of the board, and also keeping my units still until I've sacrificed and decided what I'm going to do. As you can see, I didn't do it here either. So I sacrificed that with the Fertile Soil. He's still swinging for 3, could be buffed up to 4, maybe 5, depending on how many Great Wolves he's planning on playing. So I get rid of the Quake so I can bonk that down to 4. Now I can either play the Sisters of the Fox to get me some draw, and possibly a Wolf, or I can play the Mangy Wolf just so that I've got that little bit extra board presence. So I play the Mangy Wolf. Playing it there keeps it out of Kinfolk snipe range, but I'm not sure if it was worth it. I feel like regardless of where I put it, it would probably not last long in this situation. As it is 5 damage, it goes down to 2 health, and it gets away with it. So if I'd have placed it at the bottom, that 1 damage would have gone to an idol, and considering Mangy Wolf can regenerate itself, I'm going to say that wasn't a poor move. So I put the Sister of the Fox at the front because she will take a hit, and because these creatures don't have Relentless apart from the Great Wolf, then there's less likely to be any damage going through. So I play the callback to get the Mangy Wolf back into my hand, so that when I Quake, my Mangy Wolf doesn't die. And now Blinky is accepting the fact that he could come back from this. And so he's playing all his scrolls to get him the draw, and he's damaging that idol severely. So I use this kabonk now on the Great Wolf and draw myself a God Hand. So I'm going to get rid of the fertile soil for the resources I need to play a Great Wolf, then a Mangy Wolf. That early aggression has left him pretty close to death at this point, but he is stabilising and he has a lot more draw power going for him than I do. His deck is a mono growth deck that is just pure growth. My deck is a growth order deck that actually Blinky designed. And it's very similar to my Metamint Psychosis deck, but I personally feel that it has the mono growth expertise based touches to make it work. And this is a devastating attack by him. He's set up enough units that he can just clear my board of these 9 costs that I put down there to get through, and also take out an idol. That was a good move by him. Unfortunately for him, basically everything he has is about to die, and I just drew 2 Great Wolves. So now we're at an equal board state. Next turn I can sacrifice for a growth and play 2 Great Wolves, so that puts me in a very good position. So yep, sacrifice for that, get out the 2 Great Wolves. I'm now in a position to take out those idols if I draw a Mangy Wolf next turn. Those idols will probably not last. So, Blinky has to now deal with 2 Great Wolves, that's a total of 10 health, and to do that he sets 1 down to 1 and then plays a Quake. I could cast that callback on the Great Wolf, but at this point I wouldn't be able to do enough. Yeah, this is a poor turn. All my scrolls are in my hand are order-based, so I'll just place a Woodland Memorial to keep him out of Kinfolk Veteran attack range, and also gave me a growth. And this is where I realised that I've recorded this. I'm going to do this video based on this gameplay, and it is a pretty tense match. There's a lot of back and forth in this match. There's points where it looks like I'm going to win, there's points where it looks like Blinky's going to win, and it's very up in the air. And there's Blinky saying he wants me to lose. And here's me saying I can't lose, I'm gaining knowledge, because I'm a nerd. Science is the answer. So I sacrifice out, grab my Sister of the Fox for some more draw, cast the Eye of Eagle to get me another Ragged Wolf, so make a total of 2. Let's snipe down that middle idol as much as I can. Then I might as well kabonk off that to get me an Unleashing of Power and keep that in my hand in case of any removal that I need. The kabonk Unleashing of Power combo is an amazing idea from Blinky that it lets you basically, it gives you removal in decks that aren't really designed around removal, and I'm pretty sure because this works so well, as I'm about to demonstrate, and that was a mistake. I was clicking too quickly. Instead of sacrificing for scrolls, I sacrificed for resources. That was a mistake. Worked out a bit because I will need those resources later, but was in the end a mistake. Good point to know is that I should always be sacrificing for resources, regardless of how far into the game we are, and it does make a big difference. This is why Woodland Memorials are great, because they're constant. You can be drawing them the entire time you're playing. So I'll put that down to give my Ragged Wolf some survivability, and hit that Kinfolk Veteran for 1, which he did not react to at all. He is a tank. So on the notes so far, we have calmer selection of scrolls, resources sacrificing, constantly sacrifice for resources, keep units with more health at the front of the board, and finish using your hand before you start moving the board. That is important. So you can see he's got a lot of board presence. That is pretty powerful. Now I'm going to kabonk out him, get me a Sister of the Fox, which is some more draw, which is great in a good deck like this. Now he's down to just 1 attacking creature, which worries me considerably less than the others. I'll cast that and get me a Woodland Memorial, which is currently useless to me. Because there's only 1 attacker and he doesn't have Relentless, I'm going to play my Mangy Wolf and deal with another attacker of his. Potential attacker. So, he plays a Mangy Wolf, which basically kills off most of my stuff. If he played a Ragged Wolf now, he would kill off almost all of it. And to ensure this, he moves that back and moves up the Kinfolk Brave. Also playing another Kinfolk Brave as insurance, I guess. And here comes the eating. Is it worth playing the Quake? Currently, I don't know. With a Mangy Wolf there, Fertile Soil on one of them, yeah, that works. I am happy with that choice of play, because look at what I've ended up with in my hand. I can play that to get me a Woodland Memorial, be ready to gain some extra resources next time, or sacrifice if need be. And so, Kinfolk Veteran, Mangy Wolf. Mangy Wolf is not a bad hand. However, I am down an idol. Blinky has full control of the board. It is empty. And so he makes the most of it by making everything attack, move it up, and completely annihilating an idol. This puts him in a severe lead. He only has to finish off one idol after this and he wins. I've still got all three of his to go at. Who knows how things would be different if I hadn't have lost that Great Wolf, if I hadn't have lost that Kinfolk Veteran, just lots of things that would have been way better, potentially. And he points out, incoming pain. I'm planning my move, so I sit a while before I actually send this, but for you! Which, turns out, is what he meant. So, I kind of feel a bit of a fool after that, because 'tis what I meant. Pops up there. Now, that's enough to clear out most of his board and just leave him with one Mangy Wolf, which isn't that useful once it's on the board. Haste in a can. That's what Mangy Wolf is. Rallying in a can, I guess I should say. Could even call it Bombard in a can. Speed in a can. Stop it. So, yep, he plays the Sister of the Fox, which gets him a scroll. He then kills it for 3 more scrolls. Puts Poisonous Curse on one of my Great Wolves so that it starts ticking its way towards death. So that if he plays an Unleashing of Power on it later, it will probably die. No, wait, Oop will die. Now, things are looking a bit better for me. I have more presence on the board than he does. I have a good set of stuff in hand. So now I just need to make the most of this, and not planning things through is what happens here. Hey, that should work. GG! No. God Hand wasn't quite enough in this situation, as Blinky realises sooner than I do, and I realise now. Darn! That God Hand almost had it for me. I guess I forgot that Mangy Wolf doesn't have Relentless. And yeah, I was not sure that attack would be victory. My calculations forgot the fact that Relentless existed. So I was just adding up. I'm like, so that has 4, that has 5, so I have 9 damage. How much health is on that lane? And I read it as 9, but I forgot that it wouldn't work. It was a mistake. That was a mistake. Basically, don't call GG until you're absolutely certain. I was pretty eager, and look at this, he uses a very good combo of all the things to destroy out my Kinfolk Vet and Mangy Wolf. So now I'm on a lot of resources. Really what I want here is a Ragged Wolf, because if I could play both those Kinfolk Veterans and then a Ragged Wolf, and no, I couldn't afford it now. But I was looking for a Ragged Wolf, couldn't get it. So I've got something a bit different, so now I'm going to start trying to get my Mangy Wolf, my Ragged Wolf over to the to where I need it. As you can see, keeping his side of the board controlled is pretty important for this deck. So 10 resources spent on that is not unreasonable. So now I'm ready to attack with my my Great Wolf. He quakes. My Great Wolf is going to die next turn because it's still suffering from poison. I will be left with a Ragged Wolf and 2 wounded Kinfolk Vets. A wounded Kinfolk Vet, so that's just 2 creatures left for me now. But luckily, I got the God Hand, and that is enough for me to win. And Blinky GG's, so that was a horribly tense match. And the fact that it was against Blinky, and the fact that I had like that light at the end of the tunnel so early on really made it frantic for me. But I came out, like, with my hands held high. So, that game. Lots of mistakes, lots of things to learn from. And so, number 1 was, I'm going to go with plan your move before you touch anything. Just take your hands off the keyboard, look at what you've got, and decide what you're going to do. Finish what you're doing in your hand before you move things, because things change, like Kinfolk Veterans coming out when you weren't expecting them to. That would have changed that game quite considerably by giving me a lot more control over the board a lot sooner in that match. Same goes for that Great Wolf. I didn't keep it protected well enough, and so it was easily picked off by a Ragged Wolf, which is kind of embarrassing. So, we've got plan your moves before you touch the board. Keep your units well protected, so the higher health your creature, the closer it is to the front. And what else was there? There was always sacrifice for resources even once you're at your max. Like, the most expensive scroll in your deck would be 8 growth for God Hand. Keep going. There's no need to stop there, and memorials help with that a lot because you just play them. You have spare resources because they're from an off-resource pool, so you just play that and you gain an extra resource. It's worthwhile. They are worthwhile. Memorials are definitely worthwhile. And the fourth tip I'm going to take away from this, as I'm going to write down, is to make sure that I am calmer when I'm clicking things. I noticed that when I try to place a unit, sometimes I'll miss and place them in the tile next to it. Stuff like that, really silly stuff, so be calmer when clicking on things and moving them into play. That is a pretty important tip. So, hopefully this video makes up for the kind of meh quality of the previous one, but it was a great match and there are some great things to learn from that one, so I guess thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you for episode 3.